All right, welcome to Module 6, Lesson 6. We're still working in decimal fractions. Today our objective is to be able to represent, using area models and number lines, what a decimal fraction with ones, tenths, and hundredths looks like. So we have, in the previous lessons, we've represented tenths and hundredths in Lesson 5. Now we're adding the ones column, the one whole. When you have this as a fractional form, you're going to have a mixed number. So you are going to need Lesson 6 Template 1, Lesson 6 Template 2, and Lesson 6 Problem Set 1. Go ahead and get those out, and we're going to start with Lesson 6 Template 1. Okay, so I want to represent the number, let's see, let's represent the number 1 and 22 hundredths. So 1 and 22 hundredths. Okay, so that equals, let's see, I have one hole. Each one of these boxes is a hole. So I can shade in one hole. I shade in the whole box, that's considered a hole on these area models that are provided for you. Okay, now I need 22 hundredths. Well, these are divided into tens. I know I can color in two of those for 20 hundredths. But now I need to divide it into tens horizontal lines to make hundredths. So I'm going to divide it into 1, that's tens, 20, 30, that's 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90 and 100. So now we have 100 boxes. You should have 10 spots going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we can shade in 2 hundredths. I'm going to use a different color. You can use a pencil, but I'm going to use different colors just to show the difference. So this is shaded in with blue. I'm sorry, red. This was shaded in with blue. And the whole was shaded in with 1. Okay. So, in reality, this is 1. This is 2 tenths. So 1 plus 2 tenths plus, what would this be? Would be 2 hundredths. And you add all those up, and you get 1 and 22 hundredths. And if we write that as a decimal, we have 1.22. 1 and 22 hundredths. You have 1, 2 tenths, and 2 hundredths. Okay, let's look at the second one. And you're going to do this one on your own, and then you can come back and check your work. We are going to write the number, well, let's do 1 and 81 hundredths. I want you to show me that on this place value chart. Okay, so if I'm going to show that, I would shade in the entire 1. Okay, that's my 1. I need to shade in 8 tenths because there's an 8 in the tenths column. If I rewrote my number, I would have 1.81. And if I used a place value, this would be ones, this would be tenths, and this would be hundredths. So I have 8 in the tens column, so I can shade in 8 tens. Should be all the way up. You should have 2 left, since there's 10. I'm going to go ahead and keep going. I think the light is better this way anyways. So now I need 100ths. So I'm going to go ahead and make my hundredths boxes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A little bit uneven, but you get the idea. And then I can shade in one of the hundredths. So then this equals 1 plus 8 tenths plus 100th, which equals 1 81/100ths, or 1.81. Okay, now we're going to use that on a number line. So we're going to go ahead and move to lesson 6, template number 2, and we're going to use these same numbers. So this is going to be 1 22/100ths, which equals 1.22. This is going to be 1 81/100ths, which equals 1.81. Alright, so now what am I going to do? I need to change this into a number line. Alright, so I am going to take 1, this whole thing from here, this is 0, this is 1. So I'm going to go all the way to 1, that's 1 jump. Okay. Then I'm going to go to 2 tenths, which would be right here. That's 2 tenths. Now how do I make 200ths? Well, I'm going to estimate the fact that if I drew a line in the half, this would be 5, this would be 0.05, 1.05. Okay, because we have 1, actually it would be 1.25. My mistake. So this is 1.1, 1.2, 1.25. But we want 1.22, so we're going to just estimate the fact that it's going to be right here. That is going to be 1.22, or 1 22/100ths. Okay? So now, the second one, again we're going to start with 0 and 1. And we're going to jump 1 whole. We're going to jump 8 tenths. So this would be 1 tenth, 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths, 5 tenths, 6 tenths, 7 tenths, 8 tenths. This is 1 whole, 8 tenths, and now we're going to just put a little dot right here, which would be our very next little spot, and that would be 1 81/100ths. Actually, it would be 1.81/100ths. This would be, so it would be 1.81. What if we had a number that was 2 15/100ths? And we need to show this on the number line. Okay, well, we could start with 0, but we don't always have to start with 0. I'll start with 0 on this one. We got 0, 1, 2, 3. Those are our whole numbers, right? So we can jump the two whole numbers. 1, 2. This is 2 wholes. Now we can jump 1/10, which would be the 15, the 10 from the 15, and then it's going to be right halfway in between would be 2.15. Okay. Now, you have this number line. What if you're given a problem that says 6 and 23 hundredths? 6 and 23 hundredths. Okay, well, we don't have enough room on our number line to do that. But we can start our number line at any number we want. So I am going to start my number line at 5. This is going to be 6. This is going to be 7. So I'm going to start at 6. And I'm going to then go to 23. So then I'm going to go 10, 20. 23 is going to be somewhere right around here. That would be 6.23. And again, we're estimating, we're not being exact. If you look at a centimeter chart ruler, you can look at that and you can get the exact line. That would be 6 and 23 centimeters. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. So if I had this number line, this is 6. Actually, we can't do that because they're broken up into, this is still broken up into tenths. However, if I had 6 and 23 hundredths of a meter, well, this would be 1 meter. We could say this would be 0. This could be, over here we would have 6. And then we could go 2 for the 20. And 1, 2, 3, it would be that little dot right there. That would be 6 and 23 hundredths. Okay. Let's get out the problem set. Alright, you could probably do some of these problem sets on your own. So go ahead and pause the video. Do these problem sets on your own. 1A and B. You're gonna make 1 and 15 hundredths here, and then you're gonna make it on a number line. You're gonna make 2 and 47ths here, and then show it on the number line. Okay. Then you can come back and you can check your work with me. Okay. So for the 1 and 15 hundredths, I shaded in 1. I shaded in 1/10 and 5 hundredths. Then on my number line, I went between the 1 and the 2. I went to the first tenth, and then I went just about halfway in between the first tenth and the second tenth. I will find 1.1. So this right here is 1.1. This is 1.2. So right in between, we have 1.15. Because it's halfway in between. Okay. Now, on letter B, okay, I didn't get to B, but let's go ahead and do it together. So I'm going to shade in 2 holes. So shade this whole thing in. I'm just going to kind of sketchily shade it in. Then I'm going to shade in another one. Okay. So there's my 2 holes, because it's 2. Now I can shade in 47 hundredths. So I'm going to shade in 1, 2, 3, 4 tenths. I shade in my tens first. Then I can go back and make my hundredths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now I can shade in 7 hundredths. And I'm going to do it all the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And if I stick with doing it vertically, it's much easier to count. I can see that I have 3 boxes left, so that's 7, because 10 minus 3 is 7. And then if I show that on my number line, well, my number line already has the 2 and the 3 for me. So now I need to go to the 2.4, so that would be 2.1, 2.3, 2, 2.3, 2.4. This is 2.4. Okay, right here. But I have 2.47, so I'm going to go closer to 2.5 would be 2.47. So numbers 2, we're just estimating these on the number lines, just like we just did on this one up here. So we have a 2 and we have a 3. We need to estimate 2 and 9500ths. So that would be 2. We can count by tens to 90. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. And then halfway in between here and here would be our 500ths. So this would be, I want you to write it as a decimal, 2.95. Okay, and on letter B, we have 7 and 5200ths. So here's 7. I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, no I don't, do I? I already have a 7 here and an 8 here. So now I have to go to 5200ths. So I can count by 5s now, 10s. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 52 is going to be closer to the 50, so that would be 7.52 as my little dot there. Make sure your dots are dark enough that I can read them. Okay, go ahead and turn that paper over. So now we're just writing the equivalent fraction and decimal for each of the following numbers. So we have 1 1 and 2 hundredths. Well, this would be our fraction. What would our decimal look like? We have 1 in the ones column. We do not have anything in our tenths column, so we need to make sure we put a 0 there because we have 2 hundredths. On letter B, we have 1 in the ones column and 17 hundredths. So 1 in the ones column. We have a 1 in the tens column and a 7 in the hundredths column, which is 17 hundredths. Here we have 2 ones and 8 hundredths. So this is going to be 2.08. Go ahead and do the next 3, pause it, and come back and check your work with me. All right. So you should have 2 and 27 hundredths here, 4 and 58 hundredths here, and 7 and 70 hundredths here. Okay, going down to number 4, we're going to draw lines from dot to match the decimal form to both the unit form and the fraction form. So here's our unit form, here's our decimal form, here's our fraction form. Well, they all start with 7. So it becomes a little bit more trickier. So we have 7 and 13 hundredths. So we need to find the 13 hundredths. That would be right here. You go ahead and do that and then come back and match yours with mine. So there's 7 and 13 hundredths and 7 and 13 hundredths here. Go ahead, go back and do all of yours and then come back and match it. Alright, so the first one was easy, 7 and 3 hundredths, but you had to make sure that you had a 0 before that 3. So 7 and 3 hundredths, 7 and 3 hundredths. This one was a little bit trickier. So we have 7 ones and 3 tenths. Both this number is 7 ones and 3 tenths. This is also 7 ones and 3 tenths. There's no hundredths here, it's 0. Which because there's 5 numbers here, and there's only 4 here, and there's only 4 here. So these two both go to 7 3/100ths, which is the same as saying 7 3/10. This is equal to 7 3/10. Okay, and then 7 tenths and 3 ones is 73. And then 73 is 73. Okay, go ahead and do your homework set, your homework pages, and then your exit ticket. Turn in your exit ticket, and you are done for the day. You can work on IXL. Thank you.